The most important thing to be a really good networker is the simplest thing in the world. It's to be a world-class listener. And we live in a world where most people don't listen. Most people only listen to prepare what they're going to say next. Many people see listening as a sign of weakness, listening as a sign of not being an expert. But the reality is you learn nothing when you're talking. You learn everything when you're listening. When you're talking, you're only saying things you've already heard and you already know. In fact, many people are narcissistic listeners. So if I said to Russell, I'm thinking of buying a car, and his reply to me is, I bought one last week. The guy wanted 20,000, I gave him 10,000. It's only done 30,000 miles. Look, they're fantastic radio. I'm not interested in Russell and his car, but he's taken my thought, my concept, my subject, he's hijacked it in a narcissistic way. And that happens all the time. So now we have to see listening as a form of activity, conversations, not as a competition between people. Listen like an interviewer, who not just listens to what somebody is saying, but listens to what they're going to say next. So listening is a learned skill. It takes a lot of energy. As the cliche says, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, use in that proportion. So I was lucky to have lived and worked, as I said earlier, in these different countries with different organizations, a few different organizations. I worked with the IDA and the Irish Trade Board, and then I worked with the Ireland Funds. I was 8 years in Sydney, and I was 15 years in Boston in the United States. And I was lucky enough to have worked quite closely with people who I felt were really good at networking. And I noticed that certain kind of characteristics in common. They worked hard at this stuff. They believed in networking. They really put in the hard yards. They didn't expect anything just to happen. So they were diligent in what they did. They were humble. They didn't brag about it. They didn't keep score. They didn't say, you know what, I did you a favor 6 months ago. You owe me one. You know, they just don't think like that. They're confident that networking works. And if you're to ask them, how does it work? They're not quite sure how it works, but they know it works. And when you think about it, what is networking? I mean, networking is building long-term, hearts and minds, sustainable relationships. Everybody kind of knows that. But networking is actually giving, not getting. And that's contrary to what many people think. Many people think, I need to network because I need a job or I'm looking for some sales. That's why I want to network, because I want to get something for myself, from me. And we come at it at the exact opposite. How can you help other people? How could you put your network at the disposal of other people? The basic idea behind this is that if you give on a consistent basis to individuals, it will come back from your network. So that's the essence of this. And these great networkers, that's one of the characteristics they really understand. It's about giving, not getting. They think like farmers who plants a seed in the spring, waters, nurtures, looked after that seed, and just knows, is confident that there will be a harvest when it comes to the autumn.